Hey guys, how's it going today? I hope you're having a good one. And I wanted to talk to you guys about a game called SWOTOR, or Star Wars The Old Republic from BioWare and EA. SWOTOR is sort of the spiritual successor to the KOTOR series, Knights of the Old Republic, which came out for the original Xbox and the PC. The KOTOR series sort of kickstarted the Old Republic era. Things like the Bane trilogy, things like Fatal Alliance, things that are seen as incredible additions to the Star Wars universe, and a lot of people were upset seeing them get thrown out when it was rebranded as Legends. That's a different story for a different video. But in this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about why, give you a little bit of background on SWOTOR as a game, and also give you guys an explanation as to why you might want to try it out despite the negative opinion a lot of the fandom seems to have on it. It was in production as KOTOR 3. It was meant to be Knights of the Old Republic 3, a single-player RPG role-playing game. And they shifted mid-development from a single-player game into an MMO, something like World of Warcraft or Guild Wars 2 or whatever you might want to compare it to. And it was seen as a bit of a letdown. People didn't want an MMO. That's not what they were looking for. They were looking for an additional single-player experience that will give them the same sort of fulfilling storylines and characters that we got in the original KOTOR series. And I can understand where people are coming from with that. You see that SWOTOR, when it first came out, was very MMO-y. In other words, you had to have other people to play with to really get a full experience from the game. Be able to do the new phases, like the new little mini stories and stuff. To be able to do the dungeons or the instances, whatever you might want to call those mechanics. You had to be a member of a guild or a clan or whatever in order to properly enjoy this game. But this game has grown so much over the past few years that I think it's worth revisiting. I only just started playing this game. I only started really seriously playing it once we started streaming over on Twitch. And I've probably dumped about 60 to 80 hours worth of gameplay and streaming time into SWOTOR. I've played through 3 of the 8 total character class story arcs. These are basic story arcs that take place 4 on the Republic side and 4 on the Imperial side, the Sith Empire side. You have the Imperial Agent, you have the Sith Inquisitor, you have the Sith Warrior, you have the Bounty Hunter on the Imperial side, and on the Republic side you have the Jedi Counselor, the Jedi Guardian, the Republic Trooper, and the Smuggler storylines. All of these storylines don't really interact with one another. They are single-player experiences that allow you to play through these characters, your characters' story arc. That, again, they don't really interact with each other, at least not as far as I can tell through the 60 hours of gameplay that I've gotten through. And I've only gotten through, like I said earlier, 3 of these characters. 3 out of 8. That's insane to me that I can dump 60 hours into a game and only have gotten through less than half of the basic story arcs. This game has a level cap of 70. These basic story arcs last you up until about level 50. You also have all the expansions and such. Things like Knights of the Fallen Empire, Knights of the Eternal Throne, the Hutt Cartel expansions that I haven't even touched. I know nothing about those. Nothing whatsoever. And this game has so much content. You know what? We're going to do this. Since the internet loves lists, I'm going to give you guys a top 5 reasons why I love SWOTOR and why I think that you should give it a try. So, number 1, the stories. These stories are, as I said earlier, single player experiences. They have the game mechanics set up that you can one man your way all the way through at least these base stories. I can't speak to the expansions, but so far, from what I've seen from other streamers and such on Twitch, you can one man your way through those expansions as well. Because you've got this companion that does give you input in what you're doing. They are going to approve or disapprove of your actions because you get that traditional BioWare good versus evil, Paragon and Renegade sort of mechanic that they're going to make comments on. So you still feel immersed in the world, but you are still allowed the freedom of being able to play just by yourself. You're allowed to just explore this massive, massive world that BioWare has created for us. And that leads me to point number 2. The world. The galaxy that you can explore is massive in this game. It's nothing quite like... It's not an open world style game, but there is so much to explore that it feels like it. What I mean by that is you get this massive galactic map, and there are dozens of little planets and stations that you can go and visit. Now, what you're seeing right now is the galaxy map on my Jedi Knight. You can visit other worlds if you're playing as a Sith, or if you're playing as a smuggler, or if you're playing as an agent, or whatever. It's all going to be tailored to that particular character class, with some occasional overlaps, such as everybody can go to Coruscant, everybody can go to Alderaan, all the big name things. There are some specific ones, but the point is that what you're seeing is not the entire world. It's just the entire world for the Jedi Knight, which gets additional expansion on top of the base planets, which are still number in the dozens. Point number 3, the characters. For one thing, you can obviously create your character the same way that you do in most BioWare games. Things like Mass Effect or the KOTOR series, where you can custom make your character to react and interact with individuals and scenarios in their own way, in whatever way you would prefer them to do. You can have your character become an evil Sith or a dark Jedi. You can play the savvy Heart of Gold smuggler, or you can play Hondo Ohnaka. You can do whichever one you want to do. And in addition to that, you've got tons of characters throughout the rest of the story. You have all of your companions, which have their own little branching off stories. Like you've got, on the Jedi Knight, you've got Kira Carson, who you end up exploring her backstory and her interactions and her ties to her old life. And it's a wonderful story. And that's just one out of, I think, 6 companions that you can have. And they're all just as deep and just as interesting and just as involved. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is longevity. You get this, like I said earlier on in the video, I've played 60 or 80 hours of this. I've only gotten through 3 basic story arcs. And there's 8 of those. And then on top of those 8, you have an additional 3 expansion packs. Rise of the Hutt Cartel, Knights of the Fallen Empire, and Knights of the Eternal Throne. I believe, now I don't even know, because I haven't even gotten there, I don't even know anything about Knights of the Fallen Empire, Rise of the Hutt Cartel, or anything like that. I don't know anything about it. And that is amazing to me. I've played 60 hours of this game, and I still know nothing about those. I still have no idea how they plan on going through with that kind of stuff. And you get all of this for free, essentially. Now, obviously, yes, you need to buy the expansion packs, or you can just subscribe for, I believe, $14.99 a month, and then you get everything. You get all the expansions, you get additional cartel coins, which you can use to buy cosmetic items and some like convenience powers, like instant teleportation to your ship and stuff like that. But it's not in any way a pay to win sort of thing. And it's just a pay to get more content and to support the developers, support the creators of this storyline. Now, with all of that being said, there are a couple of MMO, Massive Multiplayer Online, sort of caveats that you do have. You do have the occasional quest line where it's kill 8 of these Imperial troopers, and the combat is MMO based, i.e. you get a skill bar at the bottom or an ability bar at the bottom. You spam the same 6 abilities over and over and over again and go on with your day. But because of the healing aspect that your companion has, you are never going to really feel any sort of real stress from it. It feels like a story-based game. It feels like there's a good reason for you to be going through all of these enemies to try and get to this big boss at the end of this instance or in this phase. You feel like there's a reason for doing what you're doing. And of those quests that require you to do things like hop around and kill 8 of these things, kill 16 of these things, collect 8 of these things, destroy 3 of these power generators, it feels like there's a reason for it. And while those types of quests are common, they're usually bonus objective quests that just accompany storyline quests, like reach the end here and confront this character that you've been chasing down for the past 2.5 character levels. It makes sense, and it doesn't drag down the game nearly as much as you might think. So with all of that being said, is SWTOR worth it? Yeah. In my opinion, I would recommend any Star Wars fan that has a computer that can run anything, older than 28 or 2008. If your computer can run Minecraft, it can pretty much run SWTOR at low settings. It's not a hard game to run. It's free to try. You can play for free and get 60 to 80 hours worth of gameplay off of 3 characters out of 8. While I was complaining about KOTOR 3 never being made, BioWare made it 8 times. They've made KOTOR 3. It's right out there. It's free to download. I'll leave a link to the main store page in the description. Full disclosure, I'm not being paid to say this, obviously. I just wanted to get the word out about this game, and that there's a reason why you might want to just give it a try. Like I said, if you've got decent internet, it takes a couple hours to download. You can play it for a few hours. If you liked it, you liked it. If you didn't like it, then you didn't like it, and that's understandable, and that's your prerogative. But like I said, I cannot recommend this game enough if you're interested in story aspects of Star Wars. No, the game's not canon, but it's still fiction, and it's still enjoyable fiction, which is really what Star Wars is, whether it be canon or Legends anyways. So thank you guys so much for listening to me prattle on about Star Wars The Old Republic. Like I said, go check it out. It's free. It doesn't take anything to run. If you've got a discrete video card, you can run it pretty much. Just like I said, go give it a try. And let me know what you guys think about it. Have you played SWTOR? Are you interested in playing SWTOR? I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have down below in the comments, or you can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. That's linked in the description down below. Or you can even come and check out my gameplay of it over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Korotonic, which is also linked down in the description, where we stream every Sunday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time here in the United States. Thank you guys, and as always, may the Force be with you.